How you doing, guys? So today, let's talk about wetsuits, neoprene. Who makes the warmest wetsuit? Well, you know, nobody really. It really just depends on the wetsuit, where you're diving. Having a wetsuit that fits well is going to be one of the most important things. Look, there's all different types of wetsuits. And let's start with talking about specifications and thickness, okay? So there's shorties, there's long sleeves, there's 4 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 7 millimeter, whatever. Let's talk about the warmest wetsuits, okay? These are all gonna be 7 to 8 mil wetsuits here for Southern California's Pacific waters. It's cold here. And I'm gonna go over a couple different brands that I've personally tried and things that I've observed and some pros and cons on these. I'm gonna start with this Hollis, okay? So this Hollis is an 8 mil. It's got a built-in hood, which I think is a huge plus if you're diving out here and you want the absolute warmest wetsuit possible. Going built-in hood on an 8 mil versus just an 8 mil that doesn't have the hood built in makes a huge difference. Even if you get the hooded vest to wear underneath, this is gonna keep a whole lot of flushing from happening compared to having a separate hood. So definitely love this Hollis because of the built-in hood. This is also what's called a semi-dry. So what does that mean? So it's still a wetsuit, it's neoprene. It keeps you warm by keeping a layer of water close to your skin instead of having that layer of water constantly circulating with new cold water to cool you down. What a semi-dry means though is because we want to keep that same layer of water touching your skin and we want it to circulate as little as possible, inside of the ankle and wrist seals, so inside of the sleeves, you'll notice a little seal right here. So this is a little bit tighter than the rest of the wetsuit, and basically inside it just keeps that layer of water that's inside the wetsuit from flushing as frequently. So this is a closed cell, like a free diving suit, kind of. The other thing I love about these higher quality semi-dries is the actual liner of the wetsuit. So the material is that same material they use for like hospital sheets. It's really comfortable. It in itself, it's a better insulator than just the straight neoprene. And so that's a nice touch. It's a little bit more effective at keeping you warm. The other thing I like about this Hollis as a wetsuit is it's got these built-in pockets. And if you're like me and you dive a harness, you probably miss your pockets at times. I glued a pocket onto my wetsuit because I have the Xcel. But yeah, that's a nice feature about this. Front chest zipper is great quality. I haven't seen any of these burst. One of my good friends who's also an instructor dives with this exact semi-dry suit, and he's had it for, God, I want to say at least 5 years now. With no problem. So, and I'm 99% sure he hasn't replaced it as far as I know. So again, and Hollis is a phenomenal brand. So moving on to the Apeks. The Apeks and the Hollis are very similar. Both semi-dry suits with a wrist seal and a ankle seal. Both built-in hoods, front chest zip, high quality zipper. Obviously Apeks is Apeks. And for those of you who don't know, Apeks is to Aqualung what Halcyon is to Scuba Pro. And if you're still confused, think what Acura is to Honda or Lexus is to Toyota, if that helps you out. Bottom line is Apeks is just like a step up above Aqualung. Same company, but just a little bit more premium gear, a little bit nicer, a little tougher. So this and the Hollis are very similar. What I like about this over the Hollis is the liner on the inside. So I just feel that this liner, the material here, I think it seems to keep you warmer. I don't know what it is. It's just like when you get out of the water and it's damp, it just seems to not be as cool of a damp. I don't know what it is. It supposedly is the same material. I don't know if it's just the thread count, but I personally like this liner better. I think it keeps you a little bit warmer. Thickness is the same. They're both 8 mil wetsuits. This one also comes with a nice little bag too, which is kind of a nice feature. Apeks is good about throwing in little extras. Okay, moving on. a Bodyglove Triton wetsuit. This obviously doesn't have the built-in hood. Well, the shop I work for, Dive and Surf, the founders of this shop also invented the wetsuit and founded Bodyglove. So, you know, they're huge pioneers in the neoprene game. I personally like Bodyglove's gear a lot, and I know I'm biased working for the shop. This is a great semi-dry suit. Doesn't have the built-in hood. So look, if you are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Look, some people have a wider neck and simply can't get a built-in hood wetsuit without being, you know, strangled by it. They have to just do a two-piece or no hood at all. They have a great liner on the inside. And the quality is fantastic. They last a very long time. I have had students come and do their advanced with us that have either been in another shop, whatever, and dove around here and have experience around here, and they do comment on this being a warmer wetsuit than the typical off-the-rack rental wetsuit they're used to getting from shops. So I do get positive feedback on this. I have compared it with the standard basic Aqualung. I'll put the model name on the bottom of the screen here because I'm blanking on it. All right, let's toss this off to the side. So this is the Xcel. You'll notice there is a pocket, which I personally glued on, and maybe if you guys want, I'll do a little tutorial on how to do that. You know, hooded, really nice zipper. It's lasted a while, great liner. Fun fact, this is the same wetsuit that the Navy SEALs use. Well, I have it inside out, I'll show you. So this doesn't have a wrist seal here. It just has the rubber one here. So it's a little bit tighter on the wrist here, and this is made out of that same kind of closed cell. It's got it on the ankles here. Just got this one here as the Hollis, the Solaflex, or the Apeks, or even the Bodyglove for that matter. But this is a 976 as opposed to an 8.7 or an 8.76. So it is a little bit thicker in the chest area, which is nice. So this is what I have, wetsuits I have in stock. This is the last semi-dry that we'll review. It's an 8.7 or 8 mil, let's just call it. Has the wrist seals as well, built-in hood. I like this liner the least. It's a very basic, just neoprene liner. No comfortable hospital sheet material, you know, just basic neoprene. This one's less expensive. And look, you get what you pay for. I will say every single student I have that has bought this wetsuit has had to get the zipper repaired. Literally every single one. This zipper is awful, and it's amazing. The failure rate of this particular chest zip wetsuit, I would say, is over 50%. It's incredible. Like it's other than, I mean, once the zipper is fixed, people really like the wetsuit. They're happy with it. It's not as nice as the Apeks or the Hollis, but people are happy with it overall. You know, it's you get what you pay for. So if you want to save a little bit, still get a semi-dry, still a great option. All right, let's toss this off to the side. And let's talk about wetsuits that I don't have in stock. The Aqualung Solaflex semi-dry is probably my favorite semi-dry, as I mentioned. It's the most similar to the Apeks in that it's got a very nice liner. It's got built-in pockets. I think that it's, like I said, Apeks and Aqualung are the same. So the Apeks is just going to be a little bit nicer in some respects. But honestly, they're about the same price-wise, about the same quality. I really don't think that they've made the Apeks version of their semi-dry much nicer than the Aqualung. The Solaflex is a phenomenal wetsuit, just as good as the Apeks, honestly. I hope this was helpful in selecting your next wetsuit. I'll have links for all this stuff in the description. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you guys can comment, let me know what you guys would like to see me review. You guys want me to talk about anything dive related, want me to plan a dive, you guys want me to do an interview with some of the people here at the shop, whatever it is, just let me know what you guys would like, what kind of content you guys would like to see me create. And I definitely want to listen to you and engage with you guys.